Hi, I'm Shifa Shikra binti Jalasvi.
Hello everyone, my name is Nur Amrina Rashada binti Muhammad Zaid. Today, we'll present an analysis of the poem What We Want by Linda Pastan.
Hello. Welcome to Shifa and Amrina's presentation on the analysis of Linda Pastan's poem titled What We Want. What We Want by Linda Pastan.
What we want is never simple. We move among the things we thought we wanted. A face, a room, an open book, and these things bear our names. Now they want us. But what we want appears in dreams wearing disguises. We fall past, holding out our arms, and in the morning our arms ache. We don't remember the dream, but the dream remembers us. It is there all day, as an animal is there under the table, as the stars are there, even in full sun. Let's get to know the poet. Linda Pastan is an American poet of Jewish background. She was born on 27 May 1932 in New York, United States. She has lived for most of her life in Maryland, Washington, D.C. For her education background, Linda Pastan graduated from Radcliffe College and received an MA from Brandeis University. One fact about Linda Pastan: following graduation, she decided to give up writing poetry because she wanted to focus on raising her family. Only after 10 years, she returned to poetry writing. 10 years is a long period of time, right? In her career as a poet and writer, Linda Pastan has published 15 books of poetry and a number of essays. She is well known for writing short poems that address topics like family, domesticity, motherhood, the female experience, aging, death, loss and the fear of loss, the fragility of life, and relationships. Linda Pastan served as the Poet Laureate of Maryland from the year 1991 to 1995. She is a notable poet and a writer and has received various awards and honors throughout her career, such as a Pushcart Prize, Dylan Thomas Award, the De Castanola Award, the Best Hawking Prize, the Morris English Award, the Charity Randall Citation, and the 2003 Ruth Lilly Poetry Prize. She is also the recipient of a Radcliffe College Distinguished Alumni Award. Linda Pastan is still with us today, and she's 90 years old this year.
Subject Matter. So, the subject matter of this poem is desire, where the poet describes how we tend to have a strong feeling or urge to possess something that is within our reach, whether it is in reality or imagination. The desire implies a deep or imperative wish for something, and as a normal human, we tend to pursue one desire to another based on our sense of need. For example, one moment we're craving for food, and the next moment we wanted companionship. So the author describes how we tend to pursue from having one desire to another because in the end, we don't know what we really want. As for the theme, I think the suitable theme for this poem is the concept of desire. As we can see in line 1 to 4, the author describes what we want is never simple. We move among the things we thought we wanted: a face, a room, an open book. So here, the author kind of describes how our desire is not as simple as we thought. Because we keep pursue one desire to another. We probably have the desire to have a new appearance or maybe a new companionship. Or maybe we have desire to travel somewhere. Next, the author also describes how the desire bear our names and now they want us. Because when we have the urge or desire something strongly, we can't really get it out of our mind until we finally have it or achieve it. So it kind of haunts us, and that's why it bear our names. Next, line 8 to 9 describes how the desire wearing disguises. The poet maybe implies how our desire may not be good for us, but we kinda don't know that because in our dream, what we want appears to be beautiful and nice or all the good things, but we don't know if it's actually harmful to us or not. So yeah, that's pretty much the theme of this poem, which is the concept of desire.
Next, emotion, mood, or feeling. We found that there are two dominant feelings, which are curious and puzzled. The poet describes what we want or our true desire as a mystery waiting to be unveiled. The poet intends to evoke readers' curiosity about what they want in their life as they read through the poem. The readers may get intrigued and then question themselves. Do they truly want what they thought they wanted? Finding the answer may make the readers get puzzled or confused because, after all, to begin with, what we want is never simple. Moving on to the next part, craftsmanship or technique. We'll be looking at structure, language, imagery, movement, and sounds. Firstly, structure. The poem What We Want by Linda Pastan is written in one stanza, which consists of 20 lines. It is a free verse poem to which it has no consistent rhyme and meter. The rhyme scheme of the poem is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 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 H, I, J, K, L, G, M, N, B, and O. The rhyme scheme of the poem is inconsistent. Thus, we believe the poem does not follow any conventional structure like a sonnet. The poet uses enjambments in this poem in order to carry the idea or thought to the next line without a grammatical pause. An obvious example of enjambment in the poem can be seen from the first and the second line. What we want is never simple. Next, language. We found that the language used is simple and appropriate to the subject matter of the poem. It is pretty much straightforward and able to convey the intended meaning to the readers. The use of words is effective and easily comprehensible to the readers of all age, as the words used in the poem are common to majority of people of various age groups. I myself can't find any unknown or fancy words being used in the poem. Though it might seem dull, but it successfully conveys the meaning to the readers. For example, the poet uses the phrase, what we want, to refer to our desire. That one word may seem simpler. However, certain people may not understand the meaning of the word desire. But the phrase that the poet used, it basically tells it all. Therefore, we opine that the language used by the poet has effectively helped the readers to comprehend the poem.
All spoken word has a rhythm formed by stressed and unstressed syllables. Poets deliberately create rhythmical patterns to create particular effects. Traditionally, a poet uses meter, a regular pattern of stresses, to create a rhythmic pattern. So in this poem, one of the rhyme form is line breaks. The poet used line breaks to create rhythm. For example, what we want is never simple. The rhyme breaks play with the rhythm. Here, the breaks force the reader to shift the focus onto a certain word, even though it is the same sentence and it gives an effect of a pause. Next is stressed and unstressed syllables. Different rhythmatic patterns are created by choosing where the emphasis falls in the line. Poets arrange their words in such a way as to create those rhythmical patterns. For example, in this poem, what we want is never simple. We move among the things we thought we wanted. Some poets use sound devices as a strategy to create an emotional response by the listener. Sound devices are special tools the poet can use to create certain effects in the poem to convey and reinforce meaning through sound. So the four most common sound devices are repetition, rhyme, alliteration, and assonance. So in this poem, the type of sound devices used by the poet is repetition. where the poet repeating any words, phrases, or sentences or lines within a poem. For example, it is there all day as an animal is there, under the table as the stars are there, even in full sun. So the poet repeat the word there in this poem. The next sound devices used by the poet is alliteration, where the poet repeat the consonant sounds at the beginning of the words. For example, what we want.
Moving on to imagery. The poet makes use of a few literary devices in writing this poem, which include kinesthetic imagery, visual imagery, tactile imagery, simile, and personification. Kinesthetic imagery is used to show movement. We move among the things. We fall past, holding out our arms. Tactile imagery. It is used to describe sense of touch. It is shown in the lines, our arms ache. Visual imagery in this poem is quite unspecific. A face or a room can be perceived or imagined differently by different people. The poet uses the word animal, which is very general and not specify what kind of animal. So it is open for the readers to interpret and create their own mental visual of the animal under the table. There are two similes found in the poem. The poet compares our hidden desire that stays with us to an animal under the table and to the stars in full sun. The poet also uses personification by giving human trait to the dream. In the line, the dream remembers us.
Okay, that's all from us. Thank you for listening.